Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you are a savage barbarian like myself, but one fact is undisputable. I grew up watching the UFC, and I gotta say, I love martial arts. Now, if you watch the UFC, you know the promotion's whole agenda is to push fighters with personality, kind of like Conor McGregor, alright? They love when Conor's little Irish ass goes up there and says something like, "Shoot your fucking mouth, lad." And a star that the UFC has heavily invested in recently because his talent and presence is the light heavyweight champion known as Alex Poatan Pereira. Now, despite looking like a fucking Brazilian cartel drug lord, Alex Pereira's story in martial arts and life is very inspiring, as Alex used to deal with alcoholism, but then he transitioned to martial arts. He got into the Glory Kickboxing Association, where he became a two-time champion, double belt holder. Then he went to the UFC, beat Israel Adesanya for the middleweight title, moved up to light heavyweight, and now, to this day, he's the champion. So obviously, from being an alcoholic to now being a UFC champion, life has changed drastically for this stoic character, Alex Pereira, but he has become a meme. He has become someone that the UFC promotion wants to push because he's gone viral for his saying right here. I'm going to let you check this out right now.
Huh? Shama. Shama.
Chama.
Shama.
Chama.
All right, guys, so Hardy Har Har, Brazilian man saying Shama. You know, I think it's funny. I like Alex Pereira. The whole world loves Alex Pereira. He's a champion of the world, so you could imagine how hard it is to hear that a TikToker by the name of Meredith, who is 21 years old, is alleging that Alex Pereira has sexually assaulted her. And before we get into these allegations, remember, they are just allegations, but there's a few things I do want to point out as well before we break this case down. I do want to say, yes, I am a big fan of martial arts, a big fan of the UFC. I like Alex, but I want everyone to know I am going to be unbiased as possible, because if this woman is a victim, then I believe that, justice needs to be served here. But if Meredith is lying, then justice needs to be served to her as well. And one more thing I want to touch on before we get into this thing with Meredith is everyone's talking about how she has an OnlyFans. Bro, I am not going to say only because she has an OnlyFans, I'm not going to listen to her side of the story. I will listen to her side of the story. I have listened to her side of the story, and I have found some kind of inaccuracies, but I also have found some very interesting proof, seemingly, from Meredith. So this is a very deep rabbit hole, and there's no better place to begin than with Meredith's initial post on TikTok where she says, yeah, he's a light heavyweight champion, a father, he's an idol, right? And a fucking predator that likes to rape girls in the ass. Meet Alex Pereira. Of course, this was over the infamous Kendrick Lamar Meet the Grams beat. I don't know what she was cooking here. This is a very interesting way to address someone sexually exploiting you or sexually assaulting you. Why, if Meredith was sexually assaulted, would she go to TikTok and make a post like this and not contact her local authorities or law enforcement? So off the rip, I'm going to say it, Meredith is looking a little shaky, but she does have this picture with Alex, and I think that's very interesting, and there is a story behind that, because Meredith has released an official statement, and we are going to take a look at that now.
Alex Pereira's assistant, translator, I don't know who he is to him. His name is Mel. My friend followed him on Instagram over 2 months ago. He DM'd her after she follows him, asks her questions like how long she had been doing kickboxing for, how she got into it, stuff like that. He asks her if she's going to the fight in New Jersey that we went to. I don't know what number it was. Alex's assistant, translator, best friend, whoever he was, his name is Mel, asks my friend if she wants to meet up with him in New Jersey when she goes to the fight. He also says that Alex is wondering if she has a friend for him. My friend sends Mel, the assistant and the translator, whoever he was, he never really gave us an explanation who he was. She sends him my Instagram. Mel shows Alex my Instagram. Apparently, the only thing he said was chama.
That's fucking illegal.
This has got to be some kind of sick joke, and I hope for Meredith's sake that she is not lying, because what Meredith is alleging here is that her and her friend Jesse, they go to UFC events. Jesse trains kickboxing, and Jesse was followed by some guy named Mel that is also involved with MMA. I guess Mel is friends with Alex Pereira. And I guess Mel asked Jesse if she was going to come out to the UFC 302 event. Jesse said, yeah, I am going to pull up. And I guess Mel inquired this random girl, Jesse, about potentially bringing a friend for his acquaintance, the light heavyweight champion of the world, Alex Pereira. And Jesse could have said, sorry, Mel, I don't got any friends. That's not going to happen. I don't want any of my girlfriends to be sacrificed to Chama God. But, I guess that for some strange reason, Jesse slid Mel Meredith's handle, and I guess Mel showed Alex Pereira, and Alex Pereira's only response, according to Meredith, was chama. Now, I'm going to give Meredith the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to say, Alex, if this is true, my guy, you deserve to be incapacitated in a cell. That's kind of fucking wild. But Meredith, on the same merit, if you are lying as well, you deserve some decades in prison, because this is a strange situation, all right?
We go to New Jersey. Mel hits up my friend, invites us both to a private training at a gym called Cruz MMA, where Alex is training. My friend spars with him. I videotape the whole time, and I'm sitting down watching.
Now, I did want to touch on this real quick, because Meredith is claiming that, there was a private gym sparring session at Cruz MMA in New Jersey, and I can only assume that Cruz MMA is owned by Pino Cruz, who has strong ties and affiliations with Alex Pereira. And here is some receipt right here of Jessie, Meredith's friend, on her UFC 302 Snapchat story, hanging out with who we can assume is Mel and Alex Pereira right there.
He tries to kiss me outside of Cruz MMA gym. I grab his face and I push him away. I will try to find security footage from a building around it if possible. We go to the restaurant. They buy us a flatbread pizza. Mel asks us how old we are. I said I'm 21. My friend says that she's 20 years old, not old enough to drink alcohol. So he talks to Alex, tells him how old we say we are, and then they buy us, I think, 2 glasses of wine. They're giving us drinks. Alex won't get off of me. I'm not into it because I don't know this man. I don't like being touched if I don't know you and I'm not comfortable with you. Even if you're my family member, I just don't like being touched. He won't get off of me. He keeps asking me to go to the bathroom with him. I will try to find security footage. Legally, they have to be able to pull this up, right? Alex can't, somehow, get it erased. That would literally not be fair.
And I want to be sympathetic to Meredith's plight here, but she's saying, I would literally have to get the footage. That's why you call the police, bro. You're not Batman. You're not some kind of vigilante. You're not going to go to the establishment and demand the footage, Meredith. So I'm curious, the more time that you burn on TikTok recounting the experience that apparently traumatized you, and you're sitting here promising to be a vigilante, and I'm going to get the footage. Why don't you go to the police and have them just go get the footage? I'm so confused here.
Just to be clear also, that picture that I posted where everyone is saying that it looks like I'm a fan that asked him to take a picture with me, I did not ask for that picture. I asked for no pictures. I didn't know who this man was. My friend asked for pictures with him after asking me to record her sparring with him, and then he asked on everyone that I know and love's life. He asked for pictures with me because he wanted the pictures, because it was probably a trophy for him. I did not ask for those pictures.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
So Meredith just gave the backstory for that infamous picture with her and Alex Pereira, and I think it's very interesting with the context she's given. Meredith is claiming that Alex Pereira actually asked for the picture with her, and she claims it's some kind of trophy, some kind of sadistic thing that Alex Pereira is into. He wanted to take a picture with his soon-to-be victim.
Eventually, Alex comes to the hotel room after the interview that he was at, and he says that he doesn't want to go out. He wants to enjoy the time that he has with the people he's with. Some bullshit like that. And then he takes off his clothes, gets into bed, and then is trying to get me to get into bed with him. My friend and me and the translator are all sitting on the couch, and he's just sitting in bed staring at me and telling his translator to tell me things. and trying to convince me to get into bed with him. I eventually get into bed with him because I was naive, I guess. I didn't think that anything was going to happen. My friend was there with me. I had told her not to leave me at any point. She had told me not to leave her with the assistant at any point. I thought I was going to be able to maybe try and get myself comfortable by getting into bed with him and cuddling with him if there was people in the room. I just have problems of my own. I have trauma. This is not the first time that this has happened to me.
And once again, this story just does not sit right with me. Meredith is saying, well, he was trying to get me to get into bed with him, and I didn't want to get in bed with him at all. And then I actually did get in bed with him, and I didn't want to cuddle with him, but then I actually did start cuddling with him. All I'm saying is nobody put Meredith in that bed except herself. Why would she hop in the bed with someone that she's saying?
My friend was there with me. I had told her not to leave me at any point. She had told me not to leave her with the assistant at any point.
But she's hopping in the bed with the same guy she's talking about. It's super suspect. This story is super suspect.
Eventually, me and my friend say that we're very tired and we would like to go to sleep. They turn all the lights off. I'm in a queen-size bed right next to it with Alex. He keeps pulling the blanket over me, keeps trying to touch me. I feel suffocated. I feel uncomfortable. I don't know what to do. I've pushed him off so many times at this point, and he's not taking the hint, and these men are clearly not caring about my comfortability. I'm pushing him off of me. He won't get off. He eventually pulls my underwear and my pants down to around like halfway on my thighs, and I push him off again. He gets out of bed. He starts screaming and putting his socks and his clothes on. His translator and my friend leave the hotel room. He immediately starts trying to take my clothes off. At this point, I know what's happening. I've been through this before. I know that it's just easiest if I just shut my mouth, do what I have to, put on whatever performance that I have to make it end. He puts me on top of him so that we're 69ing. He starts using multiple of his fingers, forcefully pushing them into my ass. He's basically fisting my ass at this point. It hurts really bad, and I'm blacking out and disassociating and like just trying not to be there while it's happening. The only time he spoke English this entire time that I was with him was to ask me to help him put it in. I tried to put it in, but I was nervous, so I couldn't. So he did it, and he put it in my ass, and then he assaulted me.
This shit gotta be a joke, man. And that's where Meredith's TikTok series documenting her allegations against Alex Pereira ended. And before we get into the next segment of this video, I do want to say to Meredith, listen, if you are telling the truth and, people are just wrong, our speculation is incorrect, and you go to the proper authorities and you get this resolved in a court of law, right, then, that will be all the respect in the world, because that would shut us all up. And it's just a bad look that you're staying on TikTok and you haven't gone to the police, okay? So why haven't you done that? That's very suspect. Now, I got a screenshot of someone sending a message to Meredith in her Instagram DMs, and they say, nice fake allegations. Hope your failed OF career produced enough money for defense lawyers. And, I don't think that's cool. I don't think trying to bully people that might be going through some kind of trauma is cool. But Meredith replies in the worst way. She sends a smiling emoji, a laughing one, and she says, the money I'm making from all this exposure to my OF will pay well for them. And I do realize I'm focusing a lot on Meredith, but so far she's the only one that's really said anything. So it's really the only stem of, knowledge in this situation I can pull from, right? But I will say this, because I have said a lot about Meredith in this video. If Meredith is telling the truth and it comes out that Alex Pereira is guilty, then he really deserves everything that would be coming to him in this situation. Because in my opinion, right, and I hate to doubt a victim, I want to not discredit her experience, but I just kind of don't believe her in the situation. But I will give Meredith the benefit of the doubt. That's the way it has to be, because you don't know, I don't know, nobody knows. But if there's something bad going on here, she needs to go to the proper authorities. If Alex Pereira has done something wrong, he needs to be held accountable for it. If Meredith has lied, she needs to be held accountable for it. And I just think that's the easiest way to break that situation down right there. I know Dana White is mad as fuck right now. But I am going to stay close to this story. I do want to see how this legally develops. And yeah, man, expect an update because these are some pretty big accusations. Until then, make sure you subscribe to the channel. When you do, make sure you turn on the bell notifications. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and play my music.
That's fucking illegal.
What we do here is go back.